Well, I'm back. Been a bit of a took some time off. For those of you that saw the previous episode that was from last week, I spent some time in the hospital. Went in on a Sunday, having some pains in my stomach, and ended up being an appendicitis, and had to have an appendectomy, and spent a couple of days in the hospital, which was fun. And it's interesting that coming out of there, one, it made me much more acutely aware of what I'm grateful for. Um, as I mentioned in that previous episode where I was actually in the hospital. And I knew that coming out, they were going to, my body needed to heal, right? It was going to be, I was going to be sore, which I still am. I was going to be tired because my body was healing, and all of that I knew. And it was true. I mean, it's been, haven't slept super well because it's been hurting, go figure. What I was not prepared for, though, was the fact that my mental emotional state also needed the same kind of healing. So I want to talk about that after the intro and kind of how do we deal with that? Listen in. Welcome to my journey of self-discovery, life balance, career success, and business creation. This podcast works to answer the question of how successful professionals like us stop drifting and get focused on keeping our careers and businesses growing rapidly while having a full, balanced, and vibrant life that we absolutely love. What we call the Third Power Life. And this is the Third Power Life Podcast. So it was fairly easy for me to come to terms with the fact that my body needed to heal. What I was, as I said, what I was not prepared for was how much this event took a toll on me emotionally, and mentally. And it just, I was tired physically. I was weary mentally. I don't want to adult anymore. I don't want to do this. I want to go home and play. So it's actually kind of funny. I kind of pulled back from everything. Turned off all notifications on my phone, didn't check email. For those at work, I'm sorry. But it was necessary for my mental well-being. And just really, it was a withdraw. I'm very much an introvert. So it was go internal and kind of work on stuff. And so I decided to give myself permission to be grumpy. I gave myself permission to disconnect for a while. I've broken my chain, and you know what? It's okay. We have this push, and I mean, I still fight with it that I should be doing something productive. Yes, I know I can't move and I'm stuck in this recliner, but bring me my journal and let me write, and let me, I should be doing my podcast even though I don't feel great. And I should, I should, as Tony Robbins said, we should all over ourselves, right? And I finally, basically, I got upset with myself and gave you know what? Stop it. Take your time. Your body needs to heal, and your mind and your emotions need to heal. It's okay to have, what has it been, 4 or 5 days with no podcast episode. That's okay. People will understand, right? It's okay that, I didn't get to work on my website, or I didn't get to work on my programs, and I haven't checked email at work, and I haven't done. It's okay. It will all be there after this is done. And that was uncomfortable. It was uncomfortable for me to do that. It still is, honestly. Um, but it's necessary to give yourself the space to heal. And I mean, in the grand scheme of things, this was really minor. I mean, appendicitis, it hadn't burst. It wasn't like bad, life threatening kind of thing. I mean, it could have been had I, ignored it, which is a whole other thing I'll probably do a podcast on is listening to your body. But the reality of it was this was relatively minor. It was a minor surgery. It went very well. I'm healing well. I had support around me. My fantastic wife took care of everything. My kids have been wonderful. Life is okay. And yet, it still takes time to get back where you need to be. So, I guess my message out of this is to allow yourself the space to heal. The challenge is always, we don't want to wallow in self-pity and wallow in, all of the, and let it go on and on and on. No, I can't still be upset about this next year, right? There's some limits, but you know what? I'm allowed a damn week. And I'm talking to me, right? Dan, you're allowed to have a week of healing, both mentally and physically, right? And because with the physical body, I know it's sore, but I can tell him get better. But the unseen wounds are the most challenging, and so give yourself permission to heal, and allow it to happen, and then it's time to move on. It's like that's why I set myself. This is Monday. September 19th. My birthday was yesterday. So great birthday present for myself. Dun-dun-dun. But I was like, all right, now it's time to go back, to go back and start doing this. There's still stuff going on and there's still challenges. It was really hard to press the record button because I don't want to, right? But it needed to happen. It's now time. I've given myself the time to grieve, to overcome some of the challenges. Well, now it's time to start taking the steps out of the mist, right? The mental mist. But, I understand that I'm not 100% yet, and that's okay. I've given myself permission to not be 100% okay. And to not just put the facade on of, come on the podcast, go, everything's great. I feel wonderful. I'm so excited. Yeah. That's rah. It's bullshit, right? I'm feeling better, but I ain't there yet. And you know what? It's okay. It's okay. I say in the intro of this, welcome to my journey towards everything, right? Life fulfillment and success and all of that. I ain't there yet. And, and that's part of the challenge is it's the ego that, I am a macho man and, my body's fantastic and strong. It'll heal from this, no problem. Mental issues? We ain't got no time for mental issues. The reality is not the case. So I guess after saying it multiple times in different ways, give yourself permission to heal. Give yourself permission to have downtime and know that it's okay. Be aware when it's gone on too long, right? We can wallow in self-pity for a little while, but you can't stay there very long, right? Feel it. Enjoy it, if something could be said of enjoying self-pity. But then know, okay, now it's time to move on. And that's different for everybody. And, and just for the record, I am not a psychiatrist, nor do I play one on TV or on podcast. For me, that's the deal. Is let myself feel it. Let myself feel sorry for myself for a little while. And then, okay, time to pull up the big boy pants and let's go back to work. So here I am. I'm back. It's the return of the podcaster. Dun, dun, dun. I should have like theme music or something. Some Lord of the Rings-esque Return of the King, classical music that swells as I say it. Anyway. Okay, maybe my ego does get a little bit of the better of me. Anyway, I'm glad to be back. I'm glad to be talking to you. Give yourself permission to heal when you need it. That's really it. And that's a major part of how we help live our lives to the third power. So until tomorrow, my friends. I'm glad you enjoyed this podcast. Please let us know what impacted you in today's episode. You can join our Discord or Facebook community to connect with like-minded people that want a real third power life. You can go to thirdpowerlife.com or look in the show notes for links. And remember, hit that like, subscribe, and rate button for the Third Power Life podcast. Until next time.